What is up?
Mena and Massoud, we are about to do our Facebook Live. Make sure you swipe up for the full interview, all right? Aladdin, y'all.
Love it.
Love it.
Hey guys, so basically, we are going to go live in about a minute.
Great.
We are going live.
This is good.
Live from New York City.
I like these ones, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go live, Jesse. Or actually, no, just wait. They'll call it. Then we'll go. Oh, we are live? We're live. Too bad. Jesse's already started it.
Nice.
Great. Great. Where are we getting questions? Just back here? Or are you reading them?
I'm going to read them right to you, man.
Okay, dude. Thanks, Carlos.
The world wants.
So, guys, I used to watch
Everything.
Carlos when I was a little kid, just so you guys know.
I'm an old man. All right, so welcome to Facebook in Toronto. I'm Carlos Bustamante. We're doing our ET Canada Facebook Live with the man of the hour, Mena Massoud, right here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Dude, this is super exciting. Plus, you're like in your hometown right now.
I am. It's cool. I saw a big, we were at Breakfast Television, I saw a big billboard that said, "Welcome home, Mena." It's
That's super
amazing,
cool.
man.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Well, we are very excited for Aladdin. Everyone around the world is very excited for Aladdin, as is evidenced by all the questions we've been getting for you for our
Thanks.
live. So let's just jump right in.
Let's do it,
Okay?
man. That's why we're here.
All right, so Chris on Facebook asks, what was the most challenging scene to shoot?
That's tough. The underwater scenes were pretty intense because I had to learn how to basically dive and equalize 18 feet underwater, and then obviously hold my breath and perform underwater. So that was pretty intense. It's
Yeah.
a lot of adrenaline because you're really deep, and if you take in water, I mean, it's a long way up.
Yeah.
So
you're learning things, like a million different skills on the go, on the
Yeah.
job while you're doing this, right?
yeah. I mean, they would come in some days and they'd be like, "Oh, by the way, we have an oud teacher here." So for those of you who don't know, an oud is a classical Middle Eastern string instrument, like a guitar. So they'd be like, "You're going to learn how to play a song on this." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So yeah, juggling, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. All right, so Maddie on Twitter asks, when you got the call to say you were cast as Aladdin, who did you tell first?
So I was shooting in Toronto. Actually, I was finishing up another film. So I was staying at my parents' house, and I went over, and it was 3 in the morning. I woke up my mom and my dad, so they were the first people I told. My mom was half crying, half sleeping, and my dad jumped out of bed excited. So they were the first people I told.
Have you talked to them about how they dealt with just the excitement of finding out that this was going to be happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think they dealt with a lot of worry for a long time because, I was in Toronto. I was working at a restaurant for 3 years. I was, just fighting to survive, and that really worried them. So I think they've had so much worry that they're just excited at this point.
Right.
They're relieved.
They're relieved. Have they stopped smiling yet?
No. They have big smiles on their faces.
That's cool. All right, we got another one here from Ronnie on Twitter. Was the chemistry between you and Naomi instant, or something you guys had to build?
Yeah, both. We chemistry tested the first couple of times that I tested in London. So we tested with each other, and we got along right away. She's a very similar upbringing to mine. We're very close in age.
Yeah.
We're going on similar journeys in our careers. And then, we'd have lunch and dinners together, and we'd go over to each other's apartments and just talk about the script and talk about life. So, yeah.
And it must be cool to be able to experience this whole whirlwind of, becoming the stars of this movie together.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's different when, one person's already a massive star and the other person isn't, but we're kind of both going on this journey together. But she's continuing. She's got Charlie's Angels coming out in the fall, so I'm excited for her.
Yeah. Now, speaking of big stars, gotta ask, what was it like to work with the greatest, Will Smith?
Yeah, man, it's crazy to think, to be a superstar for 30 years like that and maintain it. That's one of the most difficult things you can do. So it's really great to just see him still so down to earth and passionate and generous with his time and his resources. It's a dream come true.
He seems like, even given all the success he's had and everything he's built for himself, very humble and just great humored about everything.
Yeah, I'd get together with the boys when we were young for Easter and Christmas, and we'd always put on a Will Smith movie,
Yeah.
Bad Boys, Independence Day.
Yeah.
So to get to work with him now, I couldn't have asked for a better star to be working with.
What was it like when you guys were the first day on set with him together? Knowing that you're like, I love The Fresh Prince, love
Yeah.
Bad Boys, love all these movies.
Well, the first time I met him, we were still in prep mode, and I was, I've told this story a bunch, but I was so nervous, I forgot to say my name. He was talking to Guy. I went over there, and I basically just stood there staring at them. And he was like, who's this weird kid? So I had to go back and introduce myself.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, Stephanie asks, what would you consider to be Aladdin's best quality as a person?
I think he's very selfless. He puts other people ahead of himself. He makes sacrifices for the people that he loves, not just Jasmine, but the genie and Abu. You know what I love? You never really see him once in this film get mad at Abu, even though Abu really just screws up a bunch of times, man. Like, that monkey needs to get it together. What's going on, man?
I mean, like, he is a little monkey, though.
He is a little monkey.
And he's adorable.
And actually, there's a pretty funny scene where me and Jasmine joke about that in the film. It's pretty funny.
All right. We got Denise from Facebook that says, what was the most fun thing about filming this movie?
Just all the different cool stuff I got to do, man. We alluded to it earlier, but even just in prep, I would wake up, I'd work out with my trainer, then we'd do stunt rehearsals, vocal rehearsals, dance rehearsals. I sit down and talk about the script with Guy and Will and Naomi, and camel riding, scuba diving, juggling, just all the cool stuff I got to do. I mean, when else am I gonna, play a role that kind of brings that all together?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for you, maybe it could be soon. Who knows? I mean, your star is rising, my friend.
Thanks, man.
But it must have been such a unique experience, given that sometimes you're on set and maybe your only responsibility is really getting those lines down.
Yeah. It's I definitely felt the responsibility in bringing this story to life and all the little things. We just really wanted to get it right,
Yeah.
So there was a lot of work that went into it, and I hope people enjoy it. Listen, I know that the reviews are coming out and whatever, but I just got to say, you got to go and see the film for yourself and make the decision for yourself, and you'll have a fun time. You'll have a fun time.
Absolutely. All right, Ahmed Saleh says, what was the audition process like? Now, we know it was like this open audition process open auditions for anyone, right? So what was it like for you?
Well, that was the first time I auditioned. I sent in a tape. I didn't hear anything back for 4 months, so I kind of moved on, and, I was like, they're going to give it to some, superstar or whatever. And 4 months later, we started hearing back. I put another tape together. My family was actually going to Blue Mountain for all you Torontonians.
Right on. Okay.
And I couldn't go with them because I had to put this second tape together. And then I flew to London twice to test for the role. The rest is history, I guess.
So when you're there putting it together by yourself, you're doing all your prep on your own. It's just like, I'm just picturing you in a room with a camera being like, okay, like, here we go.
Yeah, basically, I did, I contacted a friend of mine who's a terrific singer, Elena Watko, and, Donna Flynn, and I just went over the songs with them. I was like, what can I do better? I just tried to do the best that I could do. But basically, camera in a room, by yourself.
Dude, that's wild. From that to this,
yeah,
it's an amazing journey.
It's insane, yeah.
Okay, we got one from Miko, who says, first, you're amazing as Aladdin.
Oh,
so
thank you.
applause emojis, a million of them.
I'm guessing you've seen it then, yeah.
What's the biggest challenge about taking on this role?
Just, again, all the little things that we had to put together, and I really just wanted to bring... Anytime you're bringing an animation to life, it's a difficult thing because people are so emotionally attached to the old one, so it's almost just a victory if people like you. I just want people to leave being like, yeah, he wasn't bad. That'll be good enough for me. So, bringing an animation to life, it's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got Bianca here, Bayani, saying, Mena, what valuable lesson have you learned from filming this movie?
I really learned to try to stay in the moment and enjoy the moment. There was so much that we had to do that oftentimes, I'd be like, all right, well, tomorrow I got to do this, and the day after I got to do this. Mm-hmm. Just learn to stay present, stay in the moment, prioritize where I can.
Yeah.
Get my priorities straight.
Yeah. It seems also like a cool boot camp too, like to be in there, like the ultimate sort of acting, learning experience.
Yeah, I was saying it was like going back to theater school times 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because in theater school, the one thing that really prepped me from theater school to this is the fact that in theater school we had 14, 15-hour days every day. You know, so I was used to that. Yeah. That was something that I was like, sure, 15-hour days. I did that for 4 years, so that was the biggest thing.
So you're on there, you're like, this is old hat. I got this.
I did this for 4 years already.
Carmen Kobo says, describe Aladdin in one word.
Ooh, that's a good one. Aladdin in one word. Authentic.
That's a good one. But there are just so many good qualities
there
to
is.
the character.
Personal identity,
Yeah.
you know, if I could hyphenate that word,
Yeah.
personal identity, journey, you know, there's lots.
Yeah.
Lots you can use.
We got one from May Ignacio who says, any similarities and differences between you and Aladdin?
Yeah, you know, growing up, I went to a high school. We actually have someone here, a couple of people here who I went to high school with, and I was very different. I looked different than most people, you know, and back home, when I went back home, I spoke a different language, ate different food. So I felt very different than everyone else, and I think that's something that Aladdin goes through.
Yeah.
He feels very different compared to everyone around him. And that's the similarity. Differences, I don't have a pet monkey.
What?
I wish I did.
Wait. That wasn't your actual pet monkey in the movie?
No. I've looked into getting a capuchin monkey,
Really?
actually.
Yeah.
It's illegal in most states.
Well, then there you go.
But it is legal in some, so I'd have to move, I think, to like Colorado or something. I don't know. Where.
We'll see if it's worth it or not.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Let the monkeys live out where they're supposed to live.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say that one of your similarities was that you just steal apples and bread from people.
Yeah. No.
Denise Juck says, what was your favorite Disney movie growing up?
It's going to sound like I'm making it up, but Aladdin was. You know,
Yeah.
It was the only animation, again, where I could relate to him. You must have felt like that, too, that you could relate to him.
I watched that movie like 1,000 times.
Right.
Yeah. When you start your first solo song and you're being chased through the streets, I was like, that's my man right there. Because that's the one scene I loved the most in that movie.
Yeah.
Thought it was great.
Yeah.
Okay. Isabel Ora says, Mena, what is your favorite hobby or pastime?
So to unwind and relax, two things. One, I like cooking.
Okay.
It's a form of meditation for me. I just like to get in the kitchen and see what ingredients I have and what I can make, so I like to be creative in that way. And horseback riding. Whenever I really need to relax, I just, I book myself a trail ride or whatever, and I go for a ride.
Do you have a specialty in the kitchen?
Vegan food, because I'm vegan. I have my company Evolving Vegan, so I just like to experiment. You know, sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm feeling like Indian food, so I'll try a curry. Sometimes I'm feeling like Thai food, I'll try a pad Thai. Sometimes Middle Eastern, so I'll do like a chickpea salad with tzatziki, something. You know?
I'm gonna hit you up for some recipes.
Yeah.
Okay, Steph on Twitter asks, what was it like singing? Did you take any voice lessons prior to filming? She also says you are her favorite person ever.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. What was her name?
Steph.
Thanks, Steph. I basically, for 6 weeks ahead of shooting, we had all this prep time. So, again, 5-6 times a week, I would have vocal rehearsals with my vocal coach, Claire Underwood, amazing woman. She worked on Beauty and the Beast as well. And, so we definitely had to ramp up the amount of rehearsals and vocal work. Do
you feel like before you went in, you might have been a bit nervous about singing, but now, let's say if you're at a karaoke, spot, you're the first guy up. Like, is that what's happening now?
It has definitely made me more confident. I did it in theater school. I was in my school choir when I was younger, but I'm definitely more confident about it now, and it's something that I continue to work on. Maybe one day I'll do another musical. So I just want to be ready.
Be ready. Do you have a karaoke go-to song?
I like to throw on Eminem in karaoke because you can throw down.
Right.
You can throw down with
and you can
Eminem.
Lose yourself.
Yes, you can lose yourself.
To music.
You can eat some spaghetti.
That's right, mom's spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Vivian Barrow says from Facebook, if you could give Aladdin any advice, what would it be?
Be yourself, man. Be yourself. But that's the whole journey. It's a funny thing about Aladdin, and what I love about the story is that he basically ends up where he started. But he has to go on this journey to be able to learn that where he is good enough, and who he is good enough.
Right. Is that something that you reflected on personally? Like
Yeah.
trying to be something that maybe you weren't, and then finding out like your own value?
Yeah, I think it's something we all go through. You know, when people talk about like midlife crisis and all these things, that's what we mean. You're always on a journey of discovering who you are, and you're always changing. So you always have to be honest with yourself. You know, Guy and I would get into these very philosophical discussions about the ego, and that who you are is actually a reflection that people put on you when you're growing up. So it's an ever constant journey to try to find out who you really are.
Right.
You know, when someone's like, oh, you know, you should be a doctor because you're really good at science, which is something I went through. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm really good at science.
Yeah.
You know, so it's always a journey.
Embrace the change. It never stops, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we got one here from, I hope I'm going to say this name right, Nilant, who says, what would you say to beginner actors in Canada of color on not giving up on acting?
Yes. You've got to persevere. You've got to keep going. And I think if you have this mentality of never giving up, then you'll make it. And I also want to say that, you know, I'm starting a foundation in Toronto. It's called the Ethnically Diverse Artists Foundation. It's launching at the end of June, and we're looking to just provide resources for ethnically diverse artists here in Canada to help make your life a little easier.
Yeah.
You know, things like me and all my actor friends, we always stressed about paying for headshots, and we want to be able to take some of that burden off. So
that's awesome.
More information on that coming soon.
Yeah. There's a saying that goes something like, it's hard to be if you can't see.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
this is a huge part of showing people that you can be. Like
Yes.
here we are on screen, right?
Exactly, yeah. Middle Easterns, Naomi's Indian, Iranian, Turkish, Tunisian, Dutch. I mean, Marwan grew up in the Netherlands, so we're also representing Europe in this. So, yeah, that's absolutely true.
Awesome. Jane Brennan says, how are you staying grounded through all this?
Yeah. You know, I've been, again, that's one of the things you constantly work on as a human being. I've been in this industry for almost a decade now, and, you know, I worked at a restaurant for 3 years. I grinded a lot. So I think when you kind of go through that, you just have to remember where you came from, and that helps ground you.
Yeah. So do you ever look back? I mean, it hasn't been a very long time, right, since you were actually doing that. So you must look back and just go, wow.
Yeah, for sure.
How
I mean,
many days a week are you going, wow?
Yeah, I mean, it's that story that you always hear about with actors, you know, like they were, Chris Pratt, John Hamm, you know, endless amounts of people. It's like, I used to work at a restaurant, but it's true because actors, they've got to make a living while they're hustling and struggling. So I look back and I go, damn, man, am I lucky? I'm very blessed and very grateful.
But the road ahead is still long. There's still a lot to do.
Yeah, you still got to hustle. I'm still grinding. I'm still hustling. I don't think that ever stops.
Yeah.
You know, you even ask Will. I mean, he's still working hard and fighting for what he loves.
Yeah. Here's a good one from Daniela on Twitter. Did you manage to keep any props?
I tried. I really wanted a magic lamp. I just wanted the lamp, man.
Oh, man.
I just wanted the lamp.
And just keep that like on the coffee table in the middle of your place?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just meditate with it. Just hold it.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a very hot commodity, so I don't have one. Maybe if we go back and do a sequel or something, I'll have it written in my contract.
I imagine being on set is a bit like the Cave of Wonders. There's a lot of things you want to take, but you're just not allowed to touch it, right? Right? Is that
I love
what it
that,
is?
dude. That's
Is that
exactly what it is. Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. Well, this has been amazing. I'm so glad that we could do this together.
Thanks, man.
Mena, Massoud, guys, Aladdin is, it's Thursday, so go watch the movie.
Go see the movie. What are you doing?
Thanks a lot. And big thank you to everyone that sent in their questions on Facebook, on Instagram, and everywhere else. We love you guys. Thanks a lot. See ya.
Yeah, and big shout out to Carlos, Canadian legend right here.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Brother.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so fun.
Thank you. All right. Oh, yeah, for sure.